That's, that's, no.
Stand by. This is outdoor. This is Max, right?
No. That's this one over here.
Okay.
Welcome to Politics Done Right. This is KPFT 90.1 FM. I'm Egberto Willis, your host. We are going to have a wonderful show for you today, a complete show for you today. But do remember, folks, we are in fun drive mode, but we are still giving you real news, real opinion, real politics, real everything. So, folks, don't forget, call 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. And don't forget to hit the number 1 to go ahead and make a contribution to Politics Done Right. And then call back and hit the number 2 to come on air with me. 713-526-5738. Hello, Alistair Waters is on the internet. Likewise, Julie Henderson. Welcome to Politics Done Right. Thank you guys for all listening in. Those of you on the radio, on the airwaves, welcome to Politics Done Right. Title of the show today is GOP will really kill Social Security, and we have the proof. American healthcare versus the rest of the world. Folks, the subtitle of the show, former VP Mike Pence made it clear that the GOP is planning to privatize Social Security. Stealthy moves are in effect to scare Americans away from the health care for all with new tactics. We must respond. In the house, I see my beautiful Marlo Blue is here, and I want her to have a few words on the thing. I mean, can she or can she not? Because let me tell you, we were listening to KPFT at home, right? And we were around the table, and she was on a show, and my wife said, you know what? Who is that voice? Who is that voice? And I said, before I got a chance to respond, my daughter said, that is Marlo Blue from KPFT. And she said, oh, wow, does she have a show? She has such a beautiful voice. So while we are pitching, and by the way, we're getting into the show, so for those of you that are listening, do not leave. We have some very important subjects to cover, but I want to hear Marlo, and Marlo kind of tell us a little bit about this fun drive. Marlo, talk to me, beautiful.
Hello, Egberto. How are you today?
I am doing great, my dear. I'm doing great.
Hey, we're doing great because we are bringing our community together, and a lot of what you talk about every week are people working together.
Yes.
People making things happening by joining together and seeing what we can do to make our world and our community better. And you certainly get that when you listen to Egberto Willis on Politics Done Right Monday and Wednesdays and Fridays at noon. And we are so lucky to have you.
Well, I mean, we're lucky to have you. I mean, you get a whole. I like to talk about you and Howard in this place, and Robin, and of course our venerable Sandy, really holding the fort down. The truth of the matter is, we can't do this without volunteers like you guys, first of all, and of course Tori, who's gracefully handling the engineering for us today. We couldn't do it without great folks like you all, but most importantly, we can't do it without our people on the outside supporting us to make sure we can stay on air.
That's right. Your donation, no matter what you are able to donate, really does make a difference. And especially if you want to support Egberto being on the air right here in this wonderful time slot, he needs to hear from you. If you can make a donation of $1 a day, you can certainly do it on a monthly basis and be one of our sustainers. We appreciate that. Let's say you give $120 for a year. Can you handle that? Can you handle $10 a month to support great radio programming? We had a general manager here named Wayne Bradley,
yes.
Egberto, and he always used to say, you gotta pay for the milk.
Yes. I mean, I want people to understand that those of you who want to have control of your own medium, you want to have control of what you hear. You want to have You want to be able to have input into what's going to come out there. The other side, when I say the other side, those who want to control you, they have the deepest pockets of us all.
That's
we
right.
just ask you for like, hey, can you give us $5 a month? Can you give us $3 a month? Can you give us a dollar a day or something like that to keep this kind of program? And you're gonna, let me tell you, Marlo, I have a hell of a program today after we pitch here, and we'll pitch again. But
Oh, I
after we
can't wait.
pitch here, we have a great program to talk about some important stuff that affects all of us in Houston, all around the country.
Well, then I want to get out of your way so that you can get on with the program, because I love listening to Egberto Willies and Politics Done Right. And please, y'all make that donation while we go through it. You can do it at kpft.org. Go all the way down the
And
page.
hit that donate.
And hit that donate button. It's red, it's bright, it's beautiful. and tell them that you would love to donate for Egberto Willies and Politics Done Right. We have all sorts of premiums. You can find a nice little video of them up on the front page of kpft.org. Or if you just like to talk to people, you can always do that too. That's 713-526-5738, extension 1.
Absolutely.
And then call back and talk to Egberto.
Absolutely. Marlo, first of all, Howard, how you doing? Thank you very much, Marlo, for, helping me pitch that thing out here. And let's get busy with the program. Welcome aboard as well to May Wood, who is on the internet, is in the house. Folks, we have to keep this stuff going. Anyway, title of the show today, GOP will really kill Social Security, American healthcare versus the rest of the world. Former VP Mike Pence made it clear that the GOP is planning to privatize Social Security. Stealthy moves are in effect to scare Americans away from healthcare for all with new tactics. We must respond. But I want to start on a note, so I'm scrolling up on my essay to start there. I said miscellaneous note because as I was writing this essay, right, and listening to the news as well. And then the thing that came on the screen was oil prices are creeping up again. Do you know why? And then they started to lie about the reasons why these oil prices were going up. There is the cold snap that came across the country, prevented the oil refineries from producing as they should. Then they started to use some other excuses about winter gasoline blend is cheaper than summer blend. And they start using all these things, right? As if we are too dumb to understand that all those big storage tanks that you see around are actually more than half filled. Which means during the slump of a cold snap, while refineries are not as efficient or whatever they're doing, there's still that gas flowing. In other words, there is never, ever, ever, I repeat, never, ever a shortage, but the price is still gone up. So the reason I decided to start here is I wanted to let you know the prices of gasoline are creeping up. They're giving you information on the TV and on the news, not commensurate with keeping those prices where they are or lower. So I wrote the following. The oil executive thugs are at it again. They are slowly raising the price of gasoline again. Folks, please start driving less permanently. I repeat, folks, please start driving less permanently. Meet with your friends. Team up to go places. If you're going to a picnic or whatever where many of you are going to meet, have a central location, meet. Let's make it a new way of being. You'll not only use less gasoline, you'll also protect the environment. And guess what? You'll bring them to their knees. The pandemic proves that we can bring these economic terrorists into onto their knees. We proved it already at the point when they were even having to give away oil. They are on Wall Street rejoicing about their massive profits. They are reinvesting those profits in stock buybacks to further enrich their wealthy executives and shareholders instead of in renewables and policies good for the entire country. They're pilfering. Remember, when you see them talking about record profits, that is the food out of your kids' mouths. That is your child's education. That is the health care you had to forego. That is an earned vacation you could not afford for the R&R you need. Now, I had to move around my camera. I just realized it was off kilter. Anyhow, folks, so my statement to you, is let's all stop being victims. This economy belongs to us all. Our healthcare system belongs to us all. Without us, there ain't them. It's not about being a victim anymore. It's about taking action. We can bring them to their knees now. And it's a little bit of effort from each one of us. I repeat, it's a little bit of effort from each one of us. Before I go into the other subject, though, I want to tell you, this message that I'm giving you here, when I tell you about the news is going to lie to you about what's causing the prices of oil to go up and all of that, we are giving you real information that is verifiable. You can go ahead and do a scan at the DEA to see if our tanks are filled to or empty. Any one of them are coming close to being empty in the pipeline structure. They're not. So any price increases right now that these guys know are from temporary issues with oil refineries, it's a lie to make more money, increasing their profits and taking the money out of your child's education, their food, and everything else. You think you're going to get that on ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, anywhere else? I don't think so. So I ask you so kindly again, I promise you, one big promise I make to you is I will only tell you the truth. No spin. I will only tell you the truth. I promise you that. Every now and then I may make a mistake here and there. And I promise you to immediately, when found to be wrong, to correct where I am wrong, apologize, and move on, heads up high, all of us, because we're human. But understand that what you're going to get here at KPFT is the news that, the rhyme is, hey, here you get the news you can use. But we really mean that. We're not gonna assume you're foolish. We're gonna assume all of us can learn together. We are gonna assume that we'll show you that there is an inherent reason to keep you uninformed, misinformed, and disinformed. And we are gonna shed the light. But we can only do that. We can only do that with your help. And I ask you so kindly to give our station a call now. I am jumping to the other subject, but there will be a little bit of wing in between here. So I ask you so kindly to call 713-526-5738. No contribution is too little. No contribution is too much. I ask you to give us a contribution commensurate with what you can afford. I ask you to give us a contribution to keep us on the air. Not only Politics Done Right, but the myriad of other great programs here. But of course, when you select the program, I'd like you to say Politics Done Right so that our managers can see that Politics Done Right is holding its own on air. 713-526-5738. Hit option 1 to donate, and if you want to speak on the phone, hit option 2 after you've contributed. Because again, we really need to keep this fund drive. I'd like to keep it short. We can keep it short if people contribute quickly, early, so that we can get it started. 713-526-5738. Hit option 1 to give a contribution and really help us stay on air. We do this 4 times a year. We hope not to have to do it any more than that, and we hope to be able to shorten our fund drive so that we can spend all the time talking the subject instead of having to break in and ask for this. Again, by the way, if you want a Politics Done Right T-shirt, we have a new T-shirt that Robin designed that has the Politics Done Right logo on it, and in the middle, and on the O, it actually has KPFT. It's really, really nice, and it shows that you are out there protecting the news, making sure that people stay informed. And that one is for a $100 contribution. Remember that you can always break it up in pieces, manageable pieces, if you don't want to do it all at once. But I would love for you to go ahead and get the T-shirt. But if you can't, just go ahead and do, whatever contribution you can. 713-526-5738. Option number 1 to give a contribution. Look, let's do the right thing. I ask you so kindly to support what we are doing here, which I tell you, we need it more so than ever. And here's the reason we need this. Here is the reason we need this. This second subject says it all. American healthcare sucks for most. Don't believe the disguised false statements. Okay? Don't believe the disguised false statements. And this is what's important. So again, I'm going to touch on that subject. And since David is on the line, I'm going to take David and then I'll take care of this subject that we just talked. So let's get David on. Come on in, David. How are you doing today?
Hey, Egberto, I figured I'd call early today. This way I don't get stuck at the end of the line.
All right.
Hey, I wanted to mention something last week about this thing about oil.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if I remember this correctly, but I think this woman, her name Antonia Nahas,
Okay.
she wrote a book called The Tyranny of Oil.
Okay.
And I never read it before, but I heard Amy Goodman interviewed her several times. And if I ever get my hands on the book, I certainly would like to read it because I think she has a very astute knowledge about the petroleum business. So she knows wherewith she speaks.
Yes, that is true. I mean, the thing about it is we have to be cognizant of what's going on, and that's the only way. And again, that's why we do what we do here, David. And that's why now, if you notice, I've been asking people to contribute as well because of things that you see how you talked about that book. You won't see that book more than likely on any of the mainstream media. You'll see it on Amy Goodman. You'll see it on Tom Hartman. You'll see it on Politics Done Right. In fact, I have a couple of folks that have that put some books out there that I have on other channels speaking about these issues that folks don't want you to talk about.
I know there's a whole bunch of books out there that you'll never hear about on corporate for-profit media. But I have to cut this short because I got a doctor's appointment and I got to get in the hospital. So thank you for. And if I had right now, I'm pretty financially strapped and it's
no. Again, let me tell for everybody that's listening here. I want those who have the ability to do so. Those who can't, I want everybody listening. Your contribution can be a sharing of KPFT, sharing that we exist, telling other people about us. There are a lot of ways to support KPFT. Give us a bigger audience. Allow folks, tell them, make sure to listen to Politics Done Right Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at noon. Everybody that you see, that's a part of contributing as well. But we do need that financial support badly. But thank you, David, for who you are, my friend.
You have a good one.
You too, brother. Bye. Take care. All right, folks. Thank you, David, for calling in. Anyway, the title that I'm talking about beforehand, 713-526-5738. Hit option 1 for a contribution. Please, as soon as you can, if you have the wherewithal, please contribute. All right. American healthcare sucks for most. Don't believe the disguised false statements. I saw a video on TikTok that made it clear we must be fully engaged in the healthcare debate 24/7. The health industrial complex is very, very sneaky. They know how to seed our society with influencers on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and every platform that all frequent. For those of you who got my newsletter this morning, I spelled TikTok, talk. I don't know. Grammar, or, it's a typo, but hey, I got lots going on. But anyhow, so forgive me for that. I'll fix it in the website. Anyhow, so yesterday a video appeared in my TikTok feed that I felt compelled to answer with a corresponding video. She claimed to be a Canadian. She disparages the Canadian healthcare system, which by all measures is orders of magnitude less expensive and more effective than ours. I wrote the fall, and by the way, for those of you who are going to stop and say, well, in Canada, they have wait lines and people have to wait for this and wait for that. Guess what occurs in America, but we seldom talk about it. My daughter just made an appointment. They told her she won't be able to see a doctor until March. What is it again? It's beginning of February. She can't see a doctor until March. Oh, wait a minute. This is a system that costs more than 3 times the Canadian system. And she can't see a doctor until March. Are there waiting times in America? I didn't know that. But they said, we could get you with a practitioner in a few weeks. People, you have to intelligently listen, watch what's going on in your own domain, and compare accurately. So she said, she claims she's a Canadian. She disparages the Canadian system, which by all measures is better than ours. So I sent back a 3-minute video, because you know how TikTok works, videos are more effective in answering so that enough people see it than you just put in one comment in there, which some may see, some may not see. So I answered with a video. And I said the following, or rather, not I said the following, this is what I put in the caption for the video. This woman simply does not understand basic math. Healthcare for all, Medicare for all, is my mission. It is a mathematical impossibility for a private for-profit healthcare system to be more efficient than a single-payer system. I don't even have to ask any question. I don't even have to have a debate about it. The private system must pay executives humongous salaries. It must pay humongous advertising costs. Every time you see every single insurance company advertising on TV trying to get you to use them instead of the other, that is advertising coming out, guess out of whose pocket? It's not their pocket. It's your pocket, because once you take that premium, you are paying for all those expensive ads. You are paying for all that advertising. You are paying for those executives who get those humongous bonuses. You are paying for those shareholders who make a big profit off of healthcare. You are paying for that real estate that they use in the big, tall skyscrapers where all those insurance companies are. You pay for that. You are paying for all the other expenses. That is what you are paying for. So you cannot possibly say that somehow private health insurance is less expensive than a single payer system who has absolutely none of those costs. Punto y final. Additionally, doctors' offices must hire additional staff to work with a bunch of different insurance companies, figuring out what this one supports, what this other one doesn't. All that complexity costs money. And you know who's not paying for it? The doctor's not paying for it. The insurance company is not paying for it. You are all paying for it either with your premiums or your taxes. You pay for it to make money for the executives and shareholders who run each part of the healthcare system. So it's a lie. It's an impossibility. Additionally, doctors' offices must hire additional staff to work with a bunch of insurance companies. A single-payer system have none of those costs, which allows insuring everyone for less. It's much. I'm coming to you, Tracy. Let me just finish this little piece here. The corporatocracy gets it. Storytelling works. Personal stories, made up or true, are much better than explaining why any system is better than the other mathematically. The opposition, the money-hungry parasites lying to you about for-profit health insurance, have the cash that you gave them to continue lying to you by paying others to lie for them. I want to repeat that line. The opposition, the money-hungry parasites lying to you about for-profit health insurance, have the cash that you gave them to continue lying to you by paying others to lie for them. But you know what? Posting truthful stories is the purview of all of us, and we can do it for free. But we must do it. My passion is healthcare. As someone with a wife with a chronic disease, lupus, and a young daughter who has had 2 strokes, it is both economically, mentally, and physically existential to me and to the millions going through what my family and many others have gone through. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. And that's why we have Politics Done Right. And that's why we ask you to call 713 526-5738. Hit option 1 and say, yes, I want to support the truth coming over the airwaves to me, my family, my friends, and everybody else. Tracy, come on to the air. Thank you very much for calling. Talk to me.
Yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir, I can.
I have you on speaker because I'm driving. But anyway, I'm in the healthcare business. I'm in the
Yes.
insurance business, the employee benefit business.
Yes.
And there's a lot of, we already have sort of a social system with the Affordable Care Act, with subsidies for people. That is subsidized a lot by, what I don't even think it's subsidized by taxes. It's probably subsidized by debt, which was $32 trillion at this point.
Yes, it is.
But the problem, the dilemma with healthcare is that there's no incentive for people to be healthy. Now, I recognize.
Wait, let me stop you right there because you are so right. Continue.
Obesity is a problem. People that have that drug problems. You can name all the things, but the point. The only way to create a healthcare system which is going to be reasonable is to have incentives personally, like, for example, BMI things or, maybe, exercise programs. And I'm sure doctors are giving lots of advice on exercise programs. But if people cannot really curb their own health, bad habits, then we're going to have a bloated health system in which, okay, I'll get finished with that. That's one point. The other point is that healthcare is evolving to where it's longer than they used to, and that is very expensive.
Yes, it is.
The last couple of years of life. I mean, I have a lady next to me that had a stroke, and Medicare pays for a lot of care, and then they have a limit to that, and then but still, there's a lot of social care out there, and so we have the extension of life in which it's it's not infinite, but people can live to 100 now, but they can live for 10 years in really poor health, in which it costs. My thoughts, I'm going to give you a few more thoughts, and I appreciate you giving me this much time on, I haven't quite figured it out, but if I could create a system, I would create a social system or a private system or quasi. I haven't figured out either. You could have a private system where you could buy $250,000 or $300,000 of health care, however you want to, whatever your deductible and copays are, and then have an umbrella by the government, okay, which would take over, or vice versa, have a social benefit that's a certain number, and then you could purchase an umbrella that would take you up, to whatever you choose that umbrella to be. So that way, both the insurance companies and the government are not completely on the hook.
Can I interject at all? Let me interject. Let me interject a bit here because, first of all, you work in the healthcare industry, correct? That's what you said in the beginning?
I'm an agent for companies that buy benefits.
Okay, so let me first, to all agents of insurance companies out there, etc., I want all of you to understand that when you hear my commentary, it is not a personal attack or notice on all the workers in the healthcare industry. We are culturally in this dilemma together at all. So all of you insurance agents who would look at this as thinking I'm attacking your livelihood or anything of that nature, it is important for you.
I don't care about that. I'm not really worried about that.
But you're only one person listening, Tracy. There are thousands of other people listening, and I in order for us to make progress, I just want to let those people.
I could say this, in terms of who provides the one-on-one or the one-on-50 or the 1-250 service. It's either going to be done by a federally paid government employee, or it's either going to be done by economically incentive private enterprise.
Right.
Either way, you have to pay. And now,
right, but the people. Let me just say one thing, Tracy. The one person that has, you're absolutely right. It's either the private person who works like you do, or a government employee who works like you do. But because to have the private side, there's a whole infrastructure on top of you that gets paid for doing absolutely nothing. You work hard. You try to-
No. Everybody does something in my business. They do a lot of stuff. Believe me, actuarial work. They do.
Hold on, because you just said something important. You just said something very important. You just used the word actuarial work. Actuarial work.
Well,
means,
that's just one of
no,
many
but
things.
that is an important thing that you've just mentioned, though. Here's what I mean.
There's
Actuarial
also-
work says in your insurance company has to look at, when it looks at its audience, what is your likelihood of being sick, your likelihood of dying, all these different things that actuarial work takes into. But the only
they don't. Yeah, they don't really do that now. They don't really underwrite. Oh, they only underwrite on companies that are over they underwrite sort of at over
Right.
50 employees. Look at the big. They look at like what the premium paid and what the claims
Right.
were, and they might give them a rate increase if it's like more, bad ratio. But really. And then when you get up to 100 or 250 or 500 or 1,000, they self-fund it, which means they pay out of their own pocket.
right.
They create a plan, and they have HR people inside that administrate it, and they have they do have some reinsurance, you might say.
But
So
the complexity, think about all the things that you're telling me. The complexity of everything you just told me is to maintain the soundness of that one company among hundreds or thousands of companies, while if you
well, man, there's only 4 colors left. There's United Healthcare, Blue Cross,
right,
Humana, Aetna,
right,
and
And
Memorial Hermann here in
Right.
Houston.
Right.
Those 5. And it used, when I got in the business, it was probably 30, 40, 50, or 100 of them.
That
So
are real-
it's
everybody
gotten
else,
down to
yeah.
four behemoths.
Let me tell you,
So-
Tracy. You're first of all, I like your call from especially given that you're a healthcare agent. I like your opinions in that of what you had to say about we have to really look at our healthcare to reduce the parameters that create bad health. I think I would love for us to start thinking a little bit deeper. However, with regards to when you mentioned, anytime somebody mentioned the words actuarial to me, it's frustrating to me because I would love to have, instead of having a whole bunch of different health pools, I would like to have a national health pool, all of us. And that way we would mitigate and normalize all pricing for healthcare. And then there's some other issues I would like to talk about. But since I have to move on to another subject, I'll let you say
Okay.
one sentence to finish, and
Just
then we'll
consider
close.
what England's going through right now, social system. They're waiting months and months and months and months. There was just a
We
big
do that here
article
too,
on.
though. I saw the
Right.
article, but we're doing
Well,
it here.
you can pay cash and then you can submit a paper claim, and they'll eventually. Okay.
But here in America, my daughter just had to wait for a month and change to see a doctor. I'm just telling you, we have the same problem. You may sell the best health insurance, Tracy, but there are more bad insurances out there than there are good insurances based on.
Well, I don't know where you get that, but
Let me tell you where I get it. I can tell you where I get it. I get it from all the studies that are made, and I read the studies from Kelsey.
Can you name what study would
KHS,
that be?
KHS. It's I can't remember the one specific, but I'm telling you the website to go to where you can find it. Kelsey's. There's a Kelsey Foundation.
Yeah. is a healthcare provider network.
Yeah. Not the Kelsey
Quasi-
Siebel Network. I'm
company.
talking about KHS. Look it up. KHS.org, I believe it is. But everything that I say here is really backed up. But I always like people to go ahead and check what I've said. So what I'm telling you is that in the aggregate, there's no more waiting in Canada than here. But the difference here is that you can go bankrupt in America. You can't go bankrupt in neither Canada or the NHS in Great Britain. The difference here is psychology. Our psychology is that of individualism. But Tracy, you have our number. You are always a welcome guest to call.
I'm going to give some to. I like Rourke a lot. I got to.
He's a great. He's the best, man. Are you talking to? Doesn't he have
I
great
think,
music?
I think KPFT offers great music. I would really concentrate.
Yes.
Or find a corporate sponsor. They're out there. NPR does it. So I got to go. You got to go.
Hey, Tracy, thank you for calling, brother.
All right.
You have a great one. Bye-bye. All right, Johnny, come on in.
To Tracy and to that elderly lady who called you the other day, who's still on her Discovery.
Yes.
I would encourage both of these folks and others like them to go to hcfat.org. Healthcare for all.
That's great. Yes.
Huh?
Actually, that is a great site. Yeah, Tracy, try that. What John is just saying here, Tracy, check it out. hcfat.org. Great
They're
site.
user-friendly. They're
Yes.
well organized.
Yeah.
Looking at the website right now, looks like they've updated some things. And currently, 31%, 31% of every healthcare dollar is spent on costs
Yes.
that have nothing,
To do
zero,
with healthcare.
zip, nada,
Yeah.
nothing to do with healthcare.
Yeah. It's important for that to come out, and that's why we are more, people talk about the waiting lines in Canada. Well, if we kept our healthcare spending at today's level, right, then we shouldn't even be talking about health lines because we have twice the money that Canada has. So we should never have that as an issue. So, I mean,
You know, the one thing that really gets me when I hear people from the industry calling into your show or other shows, one of the talking points they always manage to bring up is the fact that Americans are not proactive. That's true. But is that the reason why we should stay on privatized, for-profit, ad hoc type of healthcare?
no, Johnny, but
How
Johnny,
about we go to what Bernie wants, and we encourage people to be healthy? They act as if these two are mutually
no,
exclusive.
brother Johnny, look, let me tell you, I understand what you're saying, and you're absolutely correct. But you have to also understand how we all of us, have been programmed in this society. I mean, I don't think I would have sounded any different than Tracy several decades ago. Okay, I really don't think so. But we have to communicate in such a manner that folks give us the time of day and say, like I was superbly happy that Tracy, somebody who works in the healthcare industry, felt comfortable enough to call into Politics Done Right and say his piece and understand that we're going to listen to his piece. And not only that, but much of what he says when it comes to us taking care of our health is also correct. And that is
And didn't I just say that?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I
Yes, you did.
verified that
Yes,
we
you
as
did.
Americans don't take a proactive approach.
Yes.
But that's not to say that Bernie's version of healthcare, single payer for all, is mutually exclusive from proactive
It's
preventative.
not. But here's the other
Matter
thing.
of fact, there's provisions in there. HCFAT spells that out.
Yeah, but here's the thing about it, though. You see, the way our system works, right, is we first demonize government and we demonize the Bernie Sanders and we demonize all of that so that it doesn't matter if they make sense because they have been demonized. You have to first undemonize it so that they'll be listened to. And that is what I feel a responsibility to do, right? And that is to, because I understand, I don't hold a grudge against all these folks that would call us all the pinko names you can think of, because I understand how the system has worked. Johnny,
I'm thinking of Sarah Palin right now.
I
You
know.
remember what she said at the panels?
yes,
You remember
I do.
the panels?
Yes,
Death panels. So I would say to Tracy, respectfully, and other people who are still in that fog of misinformation that they've grown up with, because I'm an American and I understand, is that death panels, they more or less exist right now. When you send in your monthly premium to your private for-profit health insurance company, and then, God forbid, you get into an automobile accident or you suffer some metabolic disorder, some acute or chronic condition, guess what? When you start filing those claims, those are claims. There's no guarantee. They have the option of denying your claim at some
and
point
that's the magic.
when you most need them.
That's the magic.
That's
Hey,
kind of
brother, I need to throw you off for a second so I can keep doing a little bit more pitching, brother. Is that okay with you? I got it.
Yeah, and don't forget, I will donate come Friday. That's after my credit card recycle day.
Brother, I appreciate it. And don't forget to get the T-shirt if you can. It has the way they designed it.
Off my budget right now, but you're in my thoughts and prayers.
All right, brother. You have a great one, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Don't
man.
forget,
Yes.
breathe deep breathing and don't have lots of ice cream.
Oh, my God. You have a great day, Johnny. Take care, brother.
Goodbye.
All right, folks, don't forget, this is a fund drive, and we do need your support. 713-526-5738. Again, it's 713 526-5738. We cannot do it without you. And Brother Tory needs to make a comment. You know, I can't have a day without Tory having one of his sensible comments. Let's go, Tory. It's all you.
Good morning, Egberto.
Good morning,
Well,
sir.
you know, I found out something today that the T-shirts for Politics Done Right are print on demand. That means if you want a Politics Done Right KPFT T-shirt, you got to go to the website and order it, and then they'll print it, and then you get it some time later, a few days, maybe a couple of weeks later. So what I want is for everybody that's big fans of this show, Tracy, David, Ray from Third Ward, here's Johnny, and myself, and everybody else, to have a group photo at the end of this fund drive with a Politics Done Right T-shirt on here at the station in this beautiful new building out front with the sunshine. Come on, let's do a group photo with Politics Done Right T-shirts.
I love that. Oh, you're so sweet. I love that. That would be a great thing. You know, I can't pull up. I forgot to pull up the thing that has any donations. Do I have anything yet? Is that donation link in there? Are we still? How are we doing?
I have no idea where that is.
Okay, I need to find out. If anybody upstairs can drop me a text or something, for some reason I forgot to get it started. That's just how I am. Folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. And hit option 1 if you're calling in with a donation. Otherwise, go to kpft.org, hit the donate button. Where it's selecting the show, remember to select Politics Done Right and select one of the many gifts that we have. Or, again, remember we have that T-shirt out there that you can actually use. So give us a call, 713-526-5738. I have another subject to talk about today, but let me pitch for one quick second here, a little bit longer, if you don't mind, so I can ask you again. Look, we sit back often. And we tell ourselves, or we come to the belief that we have no options, right? We come and we think we can't make a difference. I'm here to tell you this. We all can make a difference. I tell you, a quick part of my story is that I'm a software developer. I owned my own software company for decades. Done pretty well with the software development company. Started to do well. I've been doing activism from the time I came to the country and was at the University of Texas. But you know, I had to play the role while I worked for corporate America for 5 years. And after I left corporate America for 5 years and went into business, of course, I couldn't let folks know that I was this politically active kind of a person, and so I kept the low road. But as soon as my daughter got out of high school, because I didn't want any stigma on her in high school, as soon as she got out of high school, I went full-fledged with my website, my blogging, my radio show. Then I was doing my radio show at that time for Coffee Party USA. And whoa, Alistair Waters, thank you so kindly for that contribution. I could not do this without folks like you. Thank you so kindly for the contribution, Alistair Waters. Thank you, Alistair. Likewise, Gregory Zvitek, thank you so kindly for your kind contribution, though I think that may have been for Rourke. That time slot looked like it's for work, but that's all right. Still, thank you very much for calling in. Anyhow, folks, give us a call at 713-526-5738. And you know what's great with Alistair? She did that monthly thing, which is great. Thank you so kindly. You know, a coffee a month. That is so wonderful. Thank you, my beautiful supporter. You know, she comes to us via both our internet show, and now she's a member of Pacifica Network, where she has voting rights. That's right. Now, let me tell you, Alistair, just like you have voting rights in our Pacifica Network, which is a huge network in New York, D.C., L.A., Berkeley, here in Houston, and hundreds of affiliate stations, you are now a voting member. Just like Bridge MCP, who contributed last week sometime, you all are now bona fide voting members of Pacifica Network, as well as you're on the PDR Posse. Wow, 2 for 1. I would love you guys. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Option 1 to contribute. And let me just tell you, folks, I am behind not only today, but from Friday in the contributions that were tasked for me to raise for this particular slot. I'm just being honest with you. And by the way, Alistair's a new member of the Pacifica Network. So I am behind. I'm being very frank. Given time, I know people are tired. They just got over November, people asking and asking and asking and asking for money. I understand. I really do understand. James Scott, thank you so kindly for your contribution, who's also a new member. And he says, live free, think free. Please bring back live free, think free. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, James Scott. Let me just say one other thing. James, you are now a voting member of the whole Pacifica Network, and I told you how big we are. We're huge, but we all work on contributions from great people like yourselves. 713-526-5738. Hit option 1. I'm running out of time. I have one other story to tell, but I need to ask kindly for more contributions for the show. 713-526-5738. Hit option 1. And that way, we can continue all that we need to do. The next story is about Republicans and Social Security. But beforehand, I had another few stories to tell. As I was driving into the station today, and I was just thinking about privatization and how things are happening, right? And I said to myself, my God, the way you watch TV, everybody try to make that privatizing everything is going to be a good thing. It's a bad thing. We need to have the private sector, your pizza shops, your grocery stores, all the great things that need to be private, and innovation, great ways of presenting groceries in a good fashion. I mean, all these things are great to be in the private sector, but certain things don't belong there. Healthcare is one of them. Energy is another one. But I was thinking, I was at a conference in Baltimore, Maryland. It was a conference with the Lone Star College here in Kingwood. I got invited to speak at a conference out there that they were having in Baltimore. And I went, and the conference was I think it was in a hotel, a Hyatt hotel, or one of them on the bayfront. And it was beautiful. This was Baltimore, where you hear about all those killings and all the rowdy stuff that occurs in Baltimore. And this entire Bay Area was beautiful. And I hadn't been to Baltimore. I've been to Washington, D.C. I go to Washington, D.C. 2-3 times a year, right? Because I always go to conferences or give a speech or something like that out there. And I went out there to Baltimore, and I hadn't been to the city other than coming into the Baltimore airport and going in. So I'm there now, and I'm like, damn, this place is beautiful. This is beautiful. And then I started going down the streets and realized every single one of those streets had a cop car. Every single one of these streets had a cop car in it. And my thing is like, oh my God. And then you go beyond the cop car, and then you're in the hood. So this beautiful place, well protected away from everybody else, and then you're in the hood. What we do in our society is we are bringing our society to a position where we get progressively worse. And we start to get used to our progressively worseness. And then those on the top that have placed us in that position with the economic things that they do. That is what occurs. 713-526-5738. Hit option 1. And folks, you can support us. Sandy, I see you with a headset on. You want to say something?
I sure do.
Talk to me.
Egberto's down here 3 times a week. And I got to tell you, this is a lot of energy that's expended. A lot of you call up, enjoy the program every day. This is a time to support that program. Right now, he's about $240 short of his overall goal for this morning. It's 2 people at $120 a month. And I was just on the phone upstairs with a familiar voice, someone that's been in the KPFT orbit forever, Sandy and Gordon. And unfortunately, Sandy's in the hospital, doing some procedure. It's no big deal, but in the process, she's going to forego the Jim Lauderdale show at the Mucky Duck on Friday night. And if you'd like a table for two, it's a $200 pledge. In this case, please call down to the studio, 713-526-5738, and hit option number 2, and I'll take that pledge right here and now if you want to go to see Jim Lauderdale. But moreover, if you want to keep hearing Egberto right here, it requires support, folks. So just two of you calling in right now and providing $10 a month. That's it, $10 a month. Egberto's by his goal for Monday, and we go on to the next show. That's how we have to do it here at KPFT, show upon show, brick upon brick, till we have a structure at the end of financial support till May. 713-526-5738. We got a call coming in, Egberto. I'll turn it back to you.
All right, man. Hey, look here, folks. Give us a call, 713-526-5738. What Sandy says is true. You know, we work hard on a volunteer basis to come out here and really, really provide the type of support that's needed. So I ask you so kindly, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Show that you really, really care about this. Remember, I tell you, we can control our destiny. Let's go to Ray real quick, and then we'll go back to pitching. Come on in, Ray. Talk to me, brother.
Hey, brother. Yeah, I was just kind of keeping an ear on your show while I'm at work right now. But, yeah, I mean, the whole healthcare thing, I mean, the whole capitalism thing in general, I feel like when it comes to the matter of healthcare, I feel like the industry wants to basically incentivize it to, how can I say this in a quick manner? Basically, the way our society works is you have to pay for everything, and that's basically a motivator for most people to avoid certain experiences. So, like, in a country where they have socialized medicine, like Canada, a person can go skiing, and if they break their leg, they don't have to worry about having a huge medical bill, you know, for breaking their leg. But in America, basically, your ability to have health care is only as good as what you can pay. And like you say, people who agree to that have been brainwashed into believing that that level of cruelty is okay. It's been normalized to be cruel in our medical system because of that.
Okay, there we go. I love the way you said it, because when you say that level of cruelty has been normalized, it's so tantamount to what I was saying before, that says we have made it such, it's just like the killing in America, the constant mass shooting in America right now. We got so used to it that it's not a shock anymore. And as you, when you reach that point, it's a danger point, because it normalizes cruelty, which is exactly what you just said, Ray.
Yes, sir. And I mean, another thing I want to say, I'm not going to keep you long, in terms of what do we call an American healthcare system. I just been brainstorming, and I feel like because we have so many people on the right who subscribe to patriotism, I think we should call it Patriot Care.
I love
for
that.
all Americans.
I love that. I love that. I tell you something else. The other day I was also thinking about calling it, you know, since our health, our security is dependent on us being healthy, it's also a national it's a national security issue as well. So, Ray, thank you so kindly for calling. I have to do some quick pitching before the end. For those of you who haven't, there's one segment left on the essay to read. Check it out later on at our site. Anyway, folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Again, 713-526-5738. Hit option 1 to contribute. As Sandy was saying, or General Manager was saying, the show is short about $240 so far for this fund drive. Please give us a call at 713-526-5738. $5 a month, $2.50 a month, whatever you can afford to keep a program like Politics Done Right on air here, to make sure that we can be here to reveal the truth. Think about it. Think about your contribution to This is your contribution to truth, to your fellow friends, your neighbors, your family, your sisters, your brothers. 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Hit option 1. If you can get that in right now, I get a chance to call your name on air now. Otherwise, I'll have to call your name on air on Wednesday. But I'd love for you to do it right now. 713-526-5738. Give us whatever you can. If you can give a lot, give a lot. If you can give a little, give a little. But just do your part to help us tell the message. In the house, we also have Julie Henderson, Eric Hayes, May Wood, para ver Alistair Waters, and T. Eves, Eric Hayes. Thank you guys for the vibrant conversation that's occurring on the internet, the chat for this program right now. We couldn't do this without you. Anyone who has the ability to do so, let's keep this alive. 713-526-5738, option number 1. Remember to contribute in the name of Politics Done Right. 713-526-5738, option 1. Alternatively, please remember to go to kpft.org and select the gift that you want, the amount that you want to provide, and just go ahead and select Politics Done Right as your program of support. 713-526-5738, option number 1, or go to kpft.org. Folks, this is important radio. This is a 100,000 watt transmitter that covers the entire Southeast Texas. And this is a difficult environment to be in. I know many of you are strapped. I know many of you are tired of hearing we need to contribute here and there. But in the truth of the matter, for the type of news that we're given, we can't possibly do it without you. And this is not a charity case. This is you taking a responsibility case and saying, I am going to take charge. I am going to be a part of the solution. You're watching Politics Done right now. This money is not coming to me. I promise you that. Anything you throw out here is going directly into the KPFT coffers to make sure that we can stay on air. We are here on a volunteer basis. 713-526-5738, option numero 1. Option number 1, 713-526-5738. Alternatively, please go to kpft.org, kpft.org. We cannot do it without you. And I tell you, every time we ask, I tell you this, right? But it's the truth. We need a constant flow of income from our supporters so that we can pay our electric bill, so that we can keep that 100,000 watt transmitter on board, so that we can keep the very tiny staff that we have here. Most of the staff, in fact, Tori is in the control room here controlling the show for me. He's here on a volunteer basis. I'm here on a volunteer basis, driving 50 miles round trip every time to Kingwood. You know why? Because it's a contribution to do something that has to be done. It has to be done. Well, look, I'm out of my time. You can still call in 713-526-5738, hit option 1, as well as go to kpft.org. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right, and you guys know how I end this baby. I am what? Out!